And we're recording. Awesome. So today I'm speaking to Roger Hanney of Hoka One. Let me start by, I suppose, introducing you, but also how we were introduced. So we were introduced by Jeff off the Aussie Runner podcast, who's a good mate of mine and has been helping me with, I suppose, UTA. Now, I've seen you being called a chief run officer at Hoka One, but you're a writer, public speaker, a type 1 diabetic, and I suppose not just working in everything sales and marketing, but you're also a massive ultra runner as well, competing in Costa Cosi, the Big Red Run, and the Four Deserts Grand Slam.
Yeah,
So,
I am a massive ultra runner right now, but I'm working on that. Food joke. Quarantine's all about food.
So I thought we could talk about, as we said just before we jumped on, I wasn't, until I started in trail, I wasn't even aware of Hoka One. But then as soon as I started in trail, it was pretty much everything I saw. And you guys are so, I suppose, embedded into the trail running culture. You're at all the events, or both for trail and also for triathlons. Do you want to just start by giving us a little intro to the brand for the uninitiated?
Yeah, sure. And I'll try for under 75 seconds. But basically, Hoka was created over a decade ago by some really clever French guys who just wanted to be able to go further, faster, pretty simply, and do it in super gnarly terrain. And they figured they couldn't run uphill much faster. So if they could get something that would get them downhill quicker, then that would help.
Yeah.
So, the initial silhouette was outrageous and it got a lot of attention, and doing it in bright yellow didn't hurt, especially when social media had just started. So everyone was sharing that picture. And over a short period of time, people realized the value of the product, as in performance value of it. And Deckers, which is a big American company that UGG Australia is part of, and Teva and Sanuk, they're all part of it. They've been looking for a genuine running product because their chief officer at the time was a 218 marathoner. Their vice president of innovation and development was a 218 marathoner who'd gone to US Olympic trials. And through those two guys mainly, Hoka became part of Deckers. And then Deckers is really well resourced and has very, very smart people and very strong creative teams and very strong product teams, and everything integrated, everything grew. And there were probably some adjustments along the way that had to be made with internal communications. But now you've got just the most amazing team. I mean, you and I were talking earlier, people know what Hoka stands for. Like, Hoka is about diversity. It's about celebrating people. It's about, shutting down bullying. It's about being fit and active. It's about not just worrying who's winning. It's being there for whoever comes across the line last as well. And as you say, it's like we started running trail in a Hoka road shoe, the Bondi, and it's like we're running trail in it because there was just nothing on trail that was comfy. And we've gone from, when I started with Hoka in 2011, we had 2 different models. And as of end of last year, there's over 35 different models. There's hiking, there's Olympic level track spikes, there's carbon plated racing road shoes. We were the biggest brand the biggest shoe brand at UTMB. Last time that happened, we were the biggest shoe at Kona 2 years running. Jan Frodeno, who's like the biggest triathlete in the world, just signed with Hoka, and at the same time we've got Jim Walmsley, who's one of the biggest, trail endurance athletes, and an incredible team who are, super diverse and super fun, and all just want to really get out and enjoy it and have it and send it. It's great.
So it's probably a good segue into your running festival at the weekend, which, again, we were talking about just before we jumped on the call. And it seems as though all these stories, from your athletes, from your ambassadors, from the the community was asking for an event or something to train for, and you've given it to them and a whole lot more. Do you just want to, I suppose, briefly tell us about what the Hoka Festival is all about and all the different, I suppose, events throughout the day?
Yeah, well, that conversation that we all had earlier in the year when it was like everything turned on its head, there was a really interesting amount of feedback from people about what they wanted to see on social and what they were interested in, and we've always wanted to give people what they want. I mean, from the start of the shoes to what we do now, we try basically, we find making people happy makes us happy, you know, and that's a good way to work. So we found that people were interested in how they manage fitness at home. They were interested in cooking. They were interested in how people were dealing with it, you know, not having races, and they were interested in connecting with people. And one of our guys, funnily enough, like the least technological guy in the whole team, suggested, hey, how about like a virtual race? And we're like, don't be stupid, you know. And then sort of 6 hours later, you're going, it's a pretty good idea, actually. And then it was a matter of working at the time, and we didn't want to go the same weekend as Ultra Trail Australia would have been, because that's just rude. And we didn't want to do it on Mother's Day because that's also rude. So instead of giving ourselves, you know, like a luxurious 5 weeks to prepare, we've put this all together so far in about 2.5 weeks, and it's just been ferocious and fantastic. So one idea that was really key as well, I've got to say, Mael Backhausen, who used to run for a different brand, but he's one of our crew now. He suggested early on, festival, you know, because I was talking about running races and grand slams and distances and this kind of thing. And that was probably the idea. That suggestion pulled everything together, you know. So we've got this great team working in the background, pulling people's stories together and putting things on. And we've got a team trying to come up with like, what's the best way to shape this? And we've sort of reached out to international partners just to make sure that we're doing things the right way, because we haven't really done this before at all. So what we've come up with is, we've got fantastic guests. We've got Mike Wardian doing the Grand Slam, like the 100K Slam. Mike's amazing. We've got Darcy PQ, she's amazing. Jim Walmsley's obviously, like everyone knows that name. You've got the Garmin Man, you've got Matt Rogers, you've got Sage Canaday, who's beautiful soul. Tim Tollefson, who's won UTA, and you know, everyone who's met Tim's a big fan of Tim. And the cool thing is, and you know, this was a phone call the other day, this is evolving. You know, so there are really cool things that are part of it now that weren't part of it 2 days ago, and there were really cool things that turned up 2 days ago we hadn't even thought of last week. So we've actually got David King, who normally does the Welcome to Country for the start of Ultra Trail Australia. And I mean, I don't know if it's going to be the first virtual race with a Welcome to Country, but at 7:50 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time this Saturday morning, you want to be online at Hoka Australia Facebook, so you can find the link to the events page, and you want to watch David King welcome everyone, because I'm just excited about the fact that, you know, Mike Wardian, I think it's going to be 8 a.m. minus 14 hours. So it's like 6 p.m. Friday night. At like 5:50 in the afternoon on Friday night, he's going to be in Washington watching the same Welcome to Country that someone's going to be watching it in Perth at 10 to 6. And that's the idea, because all these virtual races, like all the virtual stuff is great. And everybody doing anything to lift people and get positive and dig each other and have the best time we can at everything right now. It's great. But for me, one of the things with virtual stuff is it's a bit loose. You know, it's like, how far can you run in a week? How far can you run in a day? Can you do, you know, like I did a virtual Ironman. And I mean, if you're a proper triathlete, you do the flattest, fastest course you can. So I managed to do like a bike ride with 700 meters of climb on Zwift that completely killed me. You know, like the two runs were both big hikes in the national park and stuff. So not doing the virtual stuff the way that you meant to is really easy when it's loose. So you want proper start times, 8 a.m. Sydney time, 5K. 10 a.m. 10K. We've got a cooking show with Little Miss Ninja, so she's going to show how how she makes dumplings because she's always making dumplings. 2 o'clock, there's a 21K. Now, the thing is, okay, so we launched this like 5 days ago.
Yeah.
We've got over 300 starters in the 5K. We've got 300 starters plus in the 10K. We've almost got 300 starters in the 21K. 6 o'clock, we're going to have the movie night. So we're going to show Best Foot Forward, which a lot of people would have seen, the Michael Milton UTA story. Chasing Panamu, which is a great story about Tarawera. Then we get into the more exciting, like those are beautiful, but stuff that people haven't seen always has, as you said, there's that thing of new running movie. So there's the Sky Project with Magda Boulay doing an FKT on trail. And Magda's amazing, like she's an incredible spirit too. And then after that, I had a really exciting email this morning. So we've got permission to show this movie called Woke the Monster by a guy called Andrew Shibay. And it's about this veteran called Sean, who basically, the guy's torn his family apart. Like he's torn his family apart through opioid addiction. And he's got to the point of facing like a 20-year prison sentence. And the arc of his life is paralleled to a 100-miler that he's running in Alabama, and you got to watch it to see how it turns out. But I mean, we're going to have to warn people about that film before they watch it because there's some pretty harrowing stuff in there. But the room got really dusty when we were watching it. The idea of having that movie was so appealing because it's just such a powerful, beautiful story. So I mean, emails were sent a couple of days ago. Director came back this morning, totally stoked to be part of it. Lived in Sydney and Bondi for 9 years and loves the country and he's really fond of it. And, so that's exciting. And I didn't even mention this. If people are doing the racing on a treadmill, it looks like Zwift is going to set up virtual race courses for us. So you can, if you're on a treadmill, you can do a 5K or a 10K or a 21K course on Saturday as part of the Hoka Isolation Running Festival. And if you finish your 5K, your 10K, your 21K, you get a virtual Hoka t-shirt in-game, which I think is...
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, I'd not thought of that till last Friday. And then the guy from Zwift calls and goes, hey, why don't we do this? Because he's a friend of Michelle Cooper, who's one of our ambassadors and president of Triathlon Australia. And it was just like, are you kidding? That'd be unreal. And then on Sunday, we've got the marathon 64K, and we'll be announcing spot prizes and swag. I mean, as far as the winners go, like people can run fast, that's great. But I've been working on their trophies, which are essentially gold or silver or bronze spray painted shoes to go on the mantelpiece. So they've taken the awards very seriously. And then we've got a team who are going to be looking for the best Strava titles and the most creative loops, a few other different things that we'll be announcing sort of during the week and over the weekend. And
amazing.
Yeah, it's hectic.
It should be fun.
It's hectic. It's amazing. Like we've gone, okay, we'll do a running festival, and then it's like, well, we'll do a running festival with a spiritual intro and a cooking show and a movie night and a bunch of stuff. It's just, I think I'll be watching the last person come in from the 64K sometime around midnight on Sunday. It's going to be some good stuff happening Tuesday, I think. Yeah,
definitely. So I thought we'd finish up with some quick questions. And there's one question in particular that I think will be very interesting to ask you. But we'll start out with your favorite race.
Oh, that's impossible. Sorry. I mean, Coast to Cozy, love Coast to Cozy. So as far as like a proper long road race, but then it's like, you also have Sakuramichi, which is the cherry blossom run across Japan and now is apparently closed to non-Japanese speakers. And that thing's amazing, same distance. If you go trail races, then I love Hard Rock. Hard Rock's awesome. But I think we've all got a soft spot for Ultra Trail Australia because most of us started doing Ultra there. And then you've got crazy races like Ultra Trail Andorra, which that's tattooed my soul, and Tour de Jante, which I still haven't officially finished, but I did 309 Ks of in one hit and still want to go back for more. So, I mean, Sorry.
All of the above.
Yeah, no, short answer, man. Sorry.
Uh, do you listen to anything when you run?
Yeah, I went through a spate of audiobooks. There were I can't remember what I was listening to right now. That's terrible of me. Sorry, no shout out for
That's
that.
all right. Audiobooks is fine.
Heaps of heavy metal, definitely heaps of heavy metal. And lately, as my running has fallen apart somewhat, more quirky electronic jazz, because you don't have to keep up with the 4/4 beat.
This is the question I was looking forward to. How many pairs of shoes do you own?
A lot. Okay, so in the room over there, we've got 10 shelf high, 5 pairs wide, and I'm probably 70% of those. Haley's not. And then we've got a shoebox there, which has about maybe 12 pairs in it. And then we've got a shoe stand there, which has about 16 pairs in it. And then I've probably got about 12 on the porch. And there's a few more.
So that is a lot.
There's a few, yeah.
There's your answer. Who's been
They're hard to throw out. They've all got their own story, right?
Yeah, exactly. I can't throw any of mine out either. Who's been the biggest influence on your life so far?
Jude, that
is.
You got little questions, don't you, Mark? You're just like, so.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say my life really revolves around my partner Haley and our baby Joni now. So that's the orbital influence, like gravitational scale. I've been inspired by a lot of the same people that a lot of people have been inspired by, I think, and I've got some quirky friends that I've picked up along the way who I don't think I'd be the same person I am without. So
yeah,
it's
very cool.
Yeah, there's no safe answer to that question.
There's no quick answer.
Yeah.
And do you have a favorite quote?
I do love Frank Fumich. It's going to get ugly, but it's going to get done.
That's a good one.
Yeah. But then there's also Herbert Glass, I think the fellow's name was, from The Revenant, which was as long as you can still draw a breath, you fight.
I like it. And that sounds like Ultra.
Yeah,
and
I'm going to paraphrase badly there, sorry. But
cool. So to finish off then, where can people find out more about Hoka and the film festival? Sorry, the running festival.
Yeah, I know, it's got everything.
Film festival.
It's got everything. So the really easy one is if you go to hokaone, so hokaone.com.au. That's our website. It's been a long day, I'm sorry, man. And then also I'd say definitely go to the Hoka 11 Australia Facebook. And we've made the hashtags really easy to find. So if you just look up hashtag ISO RUNFEST, so ISO RunFest, and you should be able to find everything from the Hoka Australia Facebook and look up basically Hoka One Australia Isolation Running Festival and make sure you do it by Friday night Sydney time.
Amazing. Well, I will obviously be doing the 21K on Saturday, and
we're going to be because that's one quick little thing. What's going to be fun is that each distance is actually going to be a Facebook post with a live feed. So it'll all be in the events page, and it'll be a live video feed from everyone who's got their Zooms on and is out playing.
Oh, cool.
And then when you finish, we'll just have a Google Doc so you can drop all your results in. We've got the Hoka One Australia official Strava club, which is there's about 1,200 people in there now. So you can join that. We'll see all your stuff automatically, or we'll see you in the Google Docs. We'll just round up everyone and tell everyone, put everyone's results out during the day. So it's fun, it's interaction, and we want to see what people are doing. And I want to see funny photos of aid stations. I want to see people spelling ridiculous things out on the 64K course. I want to, I just want people to have a good time and play with it. I want someone to outdo Stephen Redfern when he did 11,500 laps of a 32-meter course in his 3-car garage over Easter because someone dared him to. Like,
yeah,
there's potential for merriment and play here.
love it. Well, thank you so much, Roger, and I'm really looking forward to Saturday.
Oh, cheers, man. Keep up your good work with Gotcha for Life. I look forward to hearing about it when you're exhausted at about 2:30.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, mate. I'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, mate.